Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Wednesday, June 14th, 2017. Wow, what an amazing day today. Just to give you guys a head up, I did not record my screen to trade today because it was in the process of restarting, rebooting, and it was running a little bit slow. So I was able to get into the trade through my cell phone, but I was unable to record my the trade today. So just gonna break it down to you what happened. This is the European Session Open. It was hovering around this $46 handle. It went above, broke below, tested the 75, went hovering around this 46.75, and eventually it did break out of the 46 handle and rallied into the electronic pit session open during near the U.S. Open. So when I move forward in time, you're able to see that this price it did hover around this area, but we did not take any trades yet because we're waiting for a proper setup. And we don't take trades on Wednesday before 7:30 Pacific Standard Time because at 7:30 there is news, which is the weekly petroleum inventory count that lets us know if we have a build or a drawdown in oil. So what does the EIA stand for? EIA stands for the Energy Information Administration. So they are ones who come out with a number the day before that, which is Tuesday after the market is about right before the market's about to close. They have something called the API number, and they also release an unofficial, and the EIA releases an official inventory count. So to take a look at what those inventory look like, I'm just going to zoom out real quick to show you guys. And right here, so Tuesday near the close, right here at 30 minutes, we did have a little bit of a, sorry, that's not it right here. We did have a build in inventory that stated at on Tuesday afternoon, and it did cause this price action to go from this 46.49 to shoot down to this 45.90 level. It's a pretty significant report, and it's a pretty big build based on what came out. So throughout the day, it's kind of hovered and channeled within that price action. Is this $46 handle? So what happened on Wednesday? I am going to zoom in a little bit to just kind of give you a view of what's happening and then where I entered the trade and where I exited the trade. So based on our strategy, we cannot take anything before 7:30. 7:30 was the news, but we can get in a trade into at 7:35 if a trade is presented to us, and which is a good opportunity with proper risk reward. So we had this huge spike up right before the news where it shot up to 46.49 and pulled back down really hard. This usually signals that it's going to reverse. It's going to come down. It's called shooting star. And this was the 7:30 the report where it explained to us that we had a huge bill. And this bill was a larger than expected bill than the API. And there was a trigger to get in. The trigger to get in was this 45.84 level, and I know there's like it's been hitting this high, and there's kind of like no new lows. It's been hovering around this price range for a while, so a lot of people might feel a little bit uncomfortable to take a trade like this after it came down like another 30 cents and then pop back up. So where is the price actually going to go from here? We don't know, but to go from this entry at 45.85, I know if we put the stop up here at this 46.49, it was a bit high. It's almost like $800 stop loss, but that's not what we're looking for. You could clearly use this high of this bar, or you can use the back of this bar, or the body of this candle right here. But I chose this 46.02 because right here it is a doji, which also shows some type of small resistance and support, and it's also right above the $46 handle, which I felt very comfortable to use as a stop loss because eventually this was support, and they have a saying, once what was once a support then becomes resistance. So it did collapse down here. What happened in the next 5 minutes? It created a large body to go down and test this area. Oh, I was really excited about that because the trade was working in my favor. So the risk in this trade was 84 to this 02. You're looking at about $180 worth of risk, which I feel is very manageable. And the target we were looking for was 44.67. So the trade for this was roughly $1,130. If I did the math correctly, let me see. I don't think I did it correctly. 84. Give me 1 second as I use a calculator to calculate this. So yeah, the risk was $180, and the reward for this is 84 minus 67. Yes, it's $1,170 if it went down to this target. So of course, I also know that a lot of people, if it comes down to the 72 of 44.72 and pulls back pretty hard, possibly even go back up to 45, that they might have felt that, oh, I should have taken my profit, it's not going to go to my profit anymore. Might reverse, we never know, but I was just staying disciplined, staying to my rules. It did break above back 45. It closed above 45 as well. This 45.01. And price action just lingered there for just a quick second before breaking back down once more and eventually getting us to our target. So once again, the risk reward on this trade was almost 1 to 6, because it was risking about 200 to make almost $1,200, and it got you in and out of this trade really quick. Eventually, some people might have bought it in this area, maybe bought it at the 45, hoping it have a little bounce. But you don't want to do something like that, because that's called catching a falling knife. You never know how far you wouldn't catch a falling knife, if it's come flying down at you. And I know psychologically, like, oh my gosh, it fell so much. We have so much space. Where is it going to stop? And a lot of people say it should stop here. It should stop here. A lot of people bought here. Eventually, they were forced to sell and liquidate their positions. And if we go to the end of the electronic trading session, you'll see that at 11:30 Pacific Standard Time, price just kind of lingered channel. There was no other opportunity that presented itself. I know some people missed this trade, but it is what it is. And it closed right here, 11:30 at this 40.42. And some might say, hey, maybe it's going to reverse a little bit, get a nice little reversal bounce. And you kind of don't want to get in the habit of that or play that little game, because say you bought it right here at 44. Let's give you the benefit of the doubt and say you bought it at 44.67, okay? Got in at 67, you're in about to 80, so you made like $130 profit. Are you going to take it? Most people don't, because they expect the retracement to 45, even 45.50. And if you held on to it for a little bit longer, this is what happens to the price action, and it falls down some more. Here it went down to 44.46, got you back into your entry. And if you progress in the time, it went back up a little bit, but eventually it came falling back down. So that's why we don't play that game. And I know this video is a little bit longer than expected, but I wasn't able to capture a recording of the actual trade. But this is just to go over with you guys how sometimes the market can be channeling, consolidating to set yourself up for a great opportunity like this. So that's why you don't want to jump the gun and kind of get involved before, because no one knew it was going to come down like this. No one knew it was going to go up, because last week we had a similar situation where someone was trading, they did not get their stop loss filled, end up losing $1,000. So yeah, it's pretty frustrating. So just stick to your rules, be disciplined, and have a good day. Okay, take care now. Bye bye.